Hello, this is Carrie McLaughlin. I'm South Atlantic Council staff, and I'm going to be providing a presentation on the scoping overview of Coastal Migratory Pelagics Amendment 31, Management of Atlantic Cobia. First, a little briefing on what is scoping. So we have a diagram here that shows the council process for fishery management plans and amendments to those plans. So first, there's an issue identified and then the management need identified. The council takes that to scoping so that the public provides comments on ways to address that issue and management need. Then the council reviews the scoping input, develops management actions and alternatives to be analyzed. The council can also select a preferred alternative after they've reviewed the analysis, and then they send that out for public hearing. And the public again provides comments on those management actions, and if the council has a preferred alternative, then the council reviews that input. They can modify the amendment, and then they'll finalize their preferred alternatives, and then they give final approval. And that's the last chance for public input at a council meeting. And then it goes to NOAA Fisheries for formal review. So scoping is the first and the best opportunity to make suggestions for the councils to consider before an amendment is developed. So what issue is being scoped for Coastal Migratory Pelagics Amendment 31? Here's a little background. Atlantic cobia, so that's Georgia through New York, are included in the Joint Fishery Management Plan for Coastal Migratory Pelagics in the Gulf of Mexico and Atlantic region. And this is a joint plan with the Gulf of Mexico and the South Atlantic Fishery Management Councils. Because it's a federal fishery management plan, there are federal mandates, such as through the Magnuson-Stevens Act, that apply to Atlantic cobia, including the requirement for annual catch limit and the associated accountability measures. In recent years, a larger proportion of landings have been from state waters, but cobia harvested in state and federal waters count towards the annual catch limit for Atlantic cobia. And then the ACL was exceeded in 2015 and 2016, which resulted in shorter recreational seasons in federal waters because of those accountability measures. Atlantic cobia in state waters are managed by the individual states, but the Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission is currently developing an interstate management plan for cobia. And the Atlantic States Commission requested that the South Atlantic Council consider transferring complete management of Atlantic cobia to the Commission. So the Council is considering doing that, and the South Atlantic Council is also considering complementary management with the Atlantic States Commission. So a little background on the landings from state waters compared to federal waters over the past 5 years. And you can see that in this column with the landings from state waters, it's quite high. There is the column with unknown. Those are landings that can't be designated state or federal, and they're all from commercial landings. And then also, just a note, in 2016, the recreational harvest in federal waters closed on June 20th, so that may have contributed to that higher proportion. But in general, a lot of the landings are from state waters. The South Atlantic Council would like your input on a couple of things. So if Atlantic cobia is managed by the Atlantic States Commission, and that means no federal management, how would this affect your access to cobia? But if the council decides to keep Atlantic cobia in the federal fishery management plan, how would this affect your access to cobia? And if they did that, how should the complementary management between the council and the Atlantic States Commission work? And should there be different regulations for harvest in state waters and federal waters? Just all of your ideas and input on these different types of management for Atlantic cobia. Here are some benefits of removing Atlantic cobia from the federal fishery management plan. There would be increased flexibility for the states and for the Atlantic States Commission. So the federal mandates, including those annual catch limits and accountability measures, will not be required for Atlantic cobia if it's not part of a federal fishery management plan. However, the Atlantic States Commission may still choose to establish overall harvest limits. There would be reduced regulatory complexity for Atlantic cobia for Georgia through New York. There would be no required action by the South Atlantic Council to complement any commission regulations for state waters. And the regulations in place through the Interstate Management Plan by the Atlantic States Commission could be extended into federal waters, and that would mean consistent management for state and federal waters. It also opens up alternatives to using MRIP data for monitoring recreational harvest. MRIP is the Marine Recreational Information Program, and this data is used to track recreational landings and monitor the recreational annual catch limits. And there's a lot of concern about MRIP data uses estimates of recreational landings. But it is considered the best available information, and so it's used to manage Atlantic cobia as far as the federal management goes. Sole management by the Atlantic States Commission could allow different recreational data to be used to set harvest limits and monitor catch. Challenges of removing Atlantic cobia from the federal fishery management plan can include possible negative effects on the stock without federal mandates. The annual catch limit and accountability measures are designed to prevent overfishing. We also still have to consider Gulf cobia and East Coast Florida cobia, which is considered part of the Gulf stock, would still be included in the federal fishery management plan. So this could increase complexity of the plan. There would be inconsistency across the South Atlantic and Mid-Atlantic region. And if the stock boundary between Gulf and Atlantic cobia changes in the future because we get new information, this may further complicate management. Additionally, there's essential fish habitat designation through the Federal Fishery Management Plan, and any EFH designation associated only with Atlantic cobia will be eliminated. Stock assessments. NIFS would continue to provide scientific support for Atlantic cobia to the Atlantic States Commission like they do with Atlantic menhaden. However, priority and timing may change if Atlantic cobia are not a federally managed species any longer. What management measures are being considered in the Atlantic States Commission Interstate Plan for cobia? The ASMFC is reviewing a draft interstate plan at their August meeting, and they're going to approve that for public comment. The plan includes harvest limits such as recreational bag and vessel limits, minimum size limit, commercial possession limit, and then also a potential system for state-by-state annual quotas. So if Atlantic cobia is maintained in the federal fishery management plan, the quota allocation to each state decided by Atlantic States Commission and this interstate plan would still be based on the annual catch limit established by the South Atlantic Council. If Atlantic cobia is removed from the federal fishery management plan, then the commission may choose to base those state quotas on a different overall harvest limit. However, any management measures would still be dependent on the most recent stock assessment and the best available science. And you can check out that draft interstate plan on ASMFC's website. Proposed timing for Amendment 31, we're doing our scoping August 2017. In September, the South Atlantic Council is going to review the scoping comments. They're going to approve any actions and alternatives that they want analyzed. And then staff will get to work on the analysis of those alternatives and bring it back to the South Atlantic Council in December. They'll review that. They may select a preferred alternative, but they will approve it for public hearings, which will be held early 2018. And then in March 2018, the South Atlantic Council will review the public hearing comments, select a preferred alternative, and finalize that, and then approve it for formal review by the Secretary of Commerce. Because this is a joint fishery management plan and this is a plan amendment, the Gulf Council will also have to approve for formal review, so that will probably happen in April 2018. And then in late 2018 is when we would expect those changes to be implemented. There are several opportunities to provide your comments. We have the scoping webinar on Tuesday, August 15th. We're doing 2 sessions, one at 6 p.m. and one at 7 p.m. We'll start out with a staff presentation and then a question and answer session. And then we will have the official comment session where your comments will be recorded. And we'll do 2 rounds of those to accommodate folks. And we have the registration link for the scoping webinar there. And you can check out the summary documents, presentation video on our website. You can submit written comments via our online comment form. And you can also mail or fax comments also, and that information is available on the meeting webpage. So we are going to do a comment overview for the September 2017 meeting, and to do that, we need your comments by August 18th. Any comments that come in afterward or during the council meeting will be available for the council members and for the public to view. We'll set up an online comment form for the council meeting as well. So they'll get those. It's just that when we do a comment overview that goes into the meeting materials for the September 2017 meeting, we need those in by August 18th. If you need more information, you can contact me, Carrie McLaughlin, at the office, or you can email me. General questions about the council, you can reach out to our fishery outreach specialist, Cameron Rhodes, or public information officer, Kim Iverson. And you can also check out our website, Facebook, and then we also have a Twitter account. Thanks.